Person one loves person two. Guess what? Shenanigans ensue. Person one hates person two. Guess what? Still shenanigans ensue. Person one fake dates person two. Guess what? You guessed it. Shenanigans ensue. Co-host one reports to co-host two. The name of the show? Shenanigans ensue. Yeah. Hello, I'm Jasmine.
And I'm Jane, and welcome to Shenanigans Ensue.
A podcast where, why would you break up with a talented, kind feminist? Honestly.
I don't know.
The realest sentence ever.
I know, right? Each episode we'll watch a rom-com and discuss its merits as a member of the rom-com genre.
We'll cover well-worn classics, hidden gems, and everything in between.
We'll give you our unsolicited opinion on every trope, caper, and flim-flam the film used, or maybe abused.
And of course, the
shenanigans! Shenanigans! This episode, we will be discussing a much requested movie.
Yes, and that movie is
The Idea of You. Full disclosure, we are a bit late to the party because originally this was going to be our season 2 finale.
Yes, we watched this for last season and quickly realized this is not how we wanted to, number one, end the season.
Yeah.
And number two, we needed to take a little bit of time with it because it's not a rom-com.
No, and nothing against this movie.
No.
We had a lot of fun with it, but it just felt like kind of a weird one to end the season off on, especially because season 2 was already kind of all over the place.
Yeah, it was too hard of a tonal shift to end the season.
So, it's happening here.
Yeah, and I'm really excited we watched this film despite it not really being a rom-com. It's still fantastic. I love this movie.
Me too. Still a lot to say. We're going to have a lot of fun. So, let's hit that plot synopsis.
Yeah. In the 11th hour, gallery owner Solène is forced to take her daughter to Coachella because her ex-husband has chosen work over family. Again.
In search of the loo, Solène accidentally meets Hayes, the frontman of boy band August Moon.
Shenanigans ensue. Oh, yes, they do.
Oh, my goodness.
I'm so hyped.
You're going to get a lot of singing out of the two of us this episode.
I mean, probably more from Jane because I have not listened to the official soundtrack like you have. I cannot believe that they did this.
I love that they did this because this movie went so hard, full on in so many ways. And of course, they made an original soundtrack.
The lyrics are too much.
Yes, I can't wait to talk about it in the tropes.
Every time a new August Moon song started playing as the background of some new montage in the film, I think I fully disassociated after hearing the first lyric because I would always just be like, that's too much, you guys went too far, what are you doing?
Get out of here with it. What a good movie though, and how incredible is Anne Hathaway.
Gosh.
I love her as an actor.
She's so good.
And she's funny.
And effortless.
And sincere as well.
And gorgeous.
Oh, gorgeous. Of course, men of all ages would be throwing themselves at her.
Right?
Have you seen her?
She looks younger than me.
I know, me too.
If I'm being honest.
She's so beautiful.
Also, that is not a 25-year-old. Or maybe, I don't know, a 25-year-old with sun damage.
I mean, the actor is 29, so he
Not
isn't
25.
25.
It's not his fault. The Brits really love sun tanning.
Yes, they do. Also, he's probably been on the road since he was a teenager. We didn't get full backstory, but road life is rough, man.
We haven't talked about drug and alcohol use.
Yeah. And just the hours. And all that flying isn't good for your skin either, let's be honest.
Mm-hmm. I just thought it was funny because some of the other people in the band, I'm like, you could be 18. But that actually all just tracks. Do you remember being younger and like having posters of either, I don't know if you had a team, but Backstreet Boys or NSYNC, and there was always
Oh.
that one guy who was like a little bit older than the rest?
Yes. I remember.
So actually super accurate.
So true to life. Realism.
And they really did their best. They like dressed that guy the youngest and gave him like the spikiest haircut, and so like we were doing as much as we could.
Mm-hmm.
But
Listen, we were trying to work with what we had.
I respect it. Like, I know we mentioned that it's not a rom-com. It really tries to trick you in the first half.
It feels like it could be at the beginning.
I really was like, yeah, rom-com light.
Yeah, where I was like, no, this is not a rom-com, is when they got back together the second time and they're like, we're going to make this work. I was like, no, the happy ending is for the end of the movie in the rom-com, so we are not in rom-com territory anymore.
Yeah, I also felt like maybe even a little sooner than that for myself. It became clear to me that it wasn't a rom-com when they were starting to do their messy breakup and there wasn't enough comedy in it.
Yes. It's like, where's my laughter?
I was like, we're gonna break up. We all know why we're breaking up, but we have not written enough jokes into this scene. Ooh.
Yes.
Yeah.
Part of it, I think, is the montage when they started to travel.
Yeah.
Then I was like, we're going to need a bit more hijinks.
That's when you start to feel it.
Yeah, tonally, this is not a rom-com. And like, what really drove it home was when they broke up the second time. But definitely beforehand, you sort of feel questionable.
And the meet cute is definitely funny enough.
Yes.
And the scenes just after while they're still at Coachella are funny enough that I was fully on board. Like, yeah, the rom-com. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
A totally more sincere,
Yes.
straightforward one. But still, yeah.
You know, closer to
A Tourist Guide to Love. Yeah.
Yes, exactly. But no. She's not a rom-com, but still fun. And there's still some rom-com tropes, which we can talk about in tropes.
We have a celebrity versus a regular person. We've got an age gap. Inverse, yeah.
Yeah.
We've got the cutest meet cute.
So adorable.
Honestly, I loved this. I knew immediately where this was going as soon as she walked out to find the bathroom.
You just see what's supposed to be a porta potty and you're like, I know where you're going, plot, and I thank you for it.
Yes. Also, that's not her fault. There was not enough signage.
No.
Anyway. We have a grand romantic gesture. Oh boy, is it grand. We have music doing the most.
Heavy lifting.
They created a whole band and it's on Spotify.
I can't.
I don't know that lyrics have ever done this much. You really can do so much with music doing the most when you've created an original soundtrack around a boy band.
Yes,
honestly.
You can really make it work for you.
And we've got montages! Oh, they're so good. There's so many good montages.
Okay, I'm going to jump in because I'm dying to talk about music doing the most.
Yes, go.
First of all, I was looking up lyrics for this section and I came across, as Jasmine said, the Spotify playlist with original songs.
Unbelievable.
And so I was listening to this as I was preparing the episode. It is hilarious.
They had studio time.
Yes.
And not just for the scenes in the movie. They had studio recording time and put together a mini album.
That is serious commitment. Some of the gems of music doing the most is, I know you're a little bit older, but won't you put your head on my shoulder before it gets a little bit colder?
Get out. It's not even good.
No.
I mean, also tracks for a boy band.
Yes.
It's just way too on the nose. It's so funny.
It's so tailored to the plot. And this is the ballad that Hayes gets the band to sing after he's met Celine.
As his gimmick
It's just
grand romantic gesture.
So funny. Oh my goodness. Then some other gems from other songs is I Let My Guard Down. And they have a scene where both of them let their guard down at Celine's kitchen table.
Yup.
After they've discussed how they're people who don't let other people in, and they could both do with being more vulnerable.
So funny.
Beautiful.
And then who can forget all of the touching lyrics about being your girl and being in a gallery, which she owns a gallery, while they're on the montage of Europe, and he keeps walking over to the wings of the stage to sing that lyric to her. Please.
Where he says, "You're such a masterpiece."
Right,
Like,
thank
that's
you.
the lyric.
Oh,
You're
my
such a masterpiece. Get out of here.
Go home.
Another lyric is, "Tell me that you'll never leave," when he's fighting to make the relationship work.
No.
I can't. And then one of the last ones I'll talk about, because you can really pick apart all the songs while you're watching the movie, truly,
They're so funny.
is after the 5-year jump and he's now launched his solo career. And the song he sings, a lyric is,
Oh, yeah.
"I took a little time to breathe." Stop it. Stop.
And just like the interview afterwards, he's like, "I'm going to spend some time in LA. I have someone I need to see."
Looks directly at camera. Now, don't mistake my mirth for derision,
Yeah,
because I
please.
loved all of it. I ate it all up. Delightful.
This is genuine giddy delight laughter. This is not disparaging laughter.
No, not at all.
This is how this movie was campy. This movie leaned in a weird way.
Yes.
Over the top in some very specific ways. And then in every other way was one of the most grounded films I've watched in a while.
Yes. It was like this odd, gritty camp. That's
Gritty
very
camp.
realistic and at the
No,
same time
gritty
so over the top. That's the only way I can think to describe it.
I'm imagining the difference between camping in the woods and camping on a beach. It's gritty camp. The sand is so coarse and it gets everywhere.
No, not the Star Wars quote. I don't like sand. So dumb.
Gritty camp. There we go. We have a new category.
You heard it here first, folks.
I appreciate that, though. It really does give you the comedic relief you kind of need
Yes.
during a lot of these more serious moments and topics.
Mm.
So it's highly appreciated. It's just such an interesting choice.
Yeah, it's just completely different and unexpected, I guess, because I'm not mad at it, but tonally you can't quite place it, right?
Yeah.
Because it's very angsty.
Yeah, I'm thinking about other romance dramas, right? That may have moments of comedy.
The Notebook comes to mind.
Yeah, I was thinking about that, or The Last Christmas.
Oh, yes.
And like thinking about tonally that they would never put something so farcical in.
No.
So interesting.
Yeah.
I don't dislike it. I'm really pleased. It's just I don't know how to describe it. You got to
Not
experience.
at all. Yes. It made for an interesting watch. I don't quite know.
Yeah.
But I enjoyed it.
Since we talked a little bit about some of them, I do want to hit those montages.
Of course.
Yes. So obviously we have the corny one where he keeps singing in the wings, and that's the European vacation montage where she's just his art consultant. There's a bunch of really lovely montages. They utilized it extremely well throughout the course of the film, just as ways of quickly giving us a bunch of information and furthering the plot.
Yeah.
Very early on, we see Solène at her own birthday party where every other thirsty, quote, single man of her age,
Yes. Very much quote.
yeah, is just so needy or sad, boy.
Strange.
Yeah, and off-putting. It's just really captures quickly dating kind of in your second act,
Yeah.
you know?
And what I also appreciated about this montage is, again, this movie being a bit more grounded in reality. It wasn't that typical montage of terrible dates, if you know what I mean. It was like
Yeah.
a little bit more subtle.
They're just bad fits.
Yeah. And then you're like, oh no.
Yeah, this one's too needy.
Mm.
This one's too sad and shady. This one is clueless.
This one's married.
That's the sad and shady.
Yeah.
Because he was being really, like, mopey, too.
Yes.
Oh, that was weird. And then there was the weird guy with his way too many pets.
Over ego one.
Yeah, no one should have that many reptiles.
Mm-mm.
And everybody was not necessarily a bad guy. I think they could probably find a good match somewhere. But it's just like now we're working with a lot of people who have all of their quirks, and
Yeah.
we're now trying to play a bit of a jigsaw puzzle on how lives are going to fit because we're all a bit too stuck in our ways at a certain point, right? Ugh, it's just very uncomfortable.
And you could see that there wasn't chemistry.
Yeah.
And I think that really drove home the point as well, because they did the chemistry with Hayes and Celine so well too.
Yeah.
So it's advocating for this couple a little bit more as well, I think.
I also really loved the, okay, we're going to try to do this. Let's get the family together and rehearse.
Yeah.
So, like, we know the media is going to freak out and this is going to be an absolute shitstorm, but we're going to try to do it.
Yeah.
All right. So what are we doing? We're going to take down our social medias.
We're all in this together.
We say no comment.
Yeah.
We don't look at the cameras. We...
And one of Aziz's friends being like, I don't think I can give up TikTok. I don't have to give up TikTok, do I?
I know. And the other friend was just so on board.
Yes.
It was so good. This friend is like the one you want on your apocalypse team. You know? Love that guy. That was all very fun.
Yes. Then we have what I call the post-coital bliss montage. They've just finally consummated the relationship and are just like hanging out and dancing and playing music and ordering room service.
Oh, yeah. That one is so cute.
Yeah.
I love that scene.
It was very cute.
Oh, that was a perfect tone choice for that.
Especially after like the intensity of the build up, and she makes the decision to leave and she's dressed in this gorgeous dress.
Yeah.
And they have like that very intense, very passionate love scene. And then we just have them being fun and normal and quirky together and intimate in a different way.
Which I think is the way it should be, because I'm pretty
Yes.
sure people are like that with their partners, just
Yeah.
generally, when you're in private. The idea that we have so many films where, like, you have the intense chemistry, and then when that scene is over and we go to post-activities, oftentimes we see them still gazing way too intensely at each other. Like, that's not how
Yes.
this works. Nobody's like that in real life.
Yeah, it was nice to see a different angle of their relationship.
Mm-hmm.
Like why they could be a good fit long term and not just as a fling.
Mm-hmm. So fun, so many
Yeah.
fun montages, so well executed, so useful for furthering the plot.
Yes.
All well done. Love.
And each montage also had a very different texture, style.
Mm-hmm.
It was quite unique, each montage.
Yeah, like some montages linger on moments longer than others, and that would be the post-coital. And some montages really are just like scene,
Yes.
scene, and that would be the European tour.
And then we have like the post-media storm montage as well, where it's just news article, social media post, blog post.
Yeah, so it's good to use the varying kinds if you're going to use a lot.
Yes. Is there another trope that you want to talk about?
Oh, maybe the meet cute, actually.
Yeah, that was adorable.
Because everything else kind of just fits into the shenanigans, you know?
Yeah,
Okay, I want to talk about the meet cute because it's so cute.
adorable.
Oh my gosh. I don't know who's been to a outdoor wedding where they've got one of these trailers, or if you've ever done VIP for a music concert that's outdoors. People may have seen these, quote, comfort trailers before. Have you seen these things, Jane?
Oh yeah, when I've been on a shoot as well, we have these.
Yeah, the comfort trailer, which is just like, it's a porta potty with running water.
And a handle to flush.
That's the running water.
Yeah. It's just added. It's the indication. You see the handle, and that symbolizes.
I love it because they look exactly the same as like a private trailer, to be honest.
Yeah, I don't blame her.
Yeah, that idea that she would walk out and see a sea of trailers and not a sign in sight.
Yes. No entry or toilets this way.
Where's the festival worker that's there to direct you?
Yes.
Where's anybody?
And I'm sorry, how is the layout for this planned? Because why are you having your celebrity guest trailers
Closer than the toilet.
Yes, or in a region that's easily accessible. Like, yes, you had to be VIP, but you could have just wandered in, which is what she did.
Correct. And it was really funny. I did appreciate because I was thinking, where's security? And then she walks up to the trailer and they're over her shoulder looking at something on paper. So they're like not paying attention at the moment. And so I was like, oh, okay, there they are. They just, they're doing their jobs. It's just hard, whatever. I get it.
And it was so funny that she knocks on the door and he's like, just a sec. And he stands in the doorway and he looks at her and she looks at him and she's like, I need to go to the toilet. He's like, oh, do you want to use the loo?
No, she's like, do you mind?
Yes, you're right. She's like, do you mind? And he handles that so well.
I know.
Instead of being like, you're trespassing, or like, don't you know who I am, or whatever. He's like, oh, right, sorry.
I loved it.
I appreciate that he put her biological needs.
Well, I think it was like safe to say that in his position, he saw her, momentary panic. I have a crazy fan in my trailer. What do I do?
Yes.
And then very quickly realizing, you have no idea who I am. I'm safe. Okay, use my toilet.
Very dry. Do you mind? Gave it away.
Yeah.
That he's safe.
So funny. And then imagine, too, I was thinking, if I was using that toilet thinking this is the toilet trailer, and then you step out and the guy who just left is waiting there.
That's what I was just going to talk about.
That's so funny.
I was going to say, obviously, because it's Hayes' trailer.
Where is he supposed to go?
He's sitting on the couch. I think he opens a drink or a magazine or something.
I love it because anyone who's thinking at all would very quickly realize that this is not the toilet trailer. This is a regular trailer. Come on.
Whoops.
So funny.
Such a good meet cute, though.
It is. And they get to know each other ever so slightly. And that he brings the bits of information of her life into the meet and greet in the next scene.
Yes.
The listening.
Yeah.
It really kind of builds this character for you and shows you that this is kind of a genuine connection that they're forging, that he's hungered for like this kind of connection for quite some time. It's just a beautiful little meet cute. I love them together.
Yeah, very sweet. Oh, part of the shenanigans of being in the trailer is like Hayes' whole team comes in and one of his assistants is like, do you need me to dress you? And you can see Hayes is really embarrassed. And Selena's like, oh, do you need people to dress you? And he's like, oh, just for like certain big occasions, but like not really,
I love that because, like, we know what he meant.
Yes.
And she was just giving him a hard time. And then he gets flustered anyway. It's very cute.
Well, I think we're ready for those shenanigans.
Shenanigans.
Right off the top, just a little one. When Selena's supposed to be packing for her 40th birthday celebration camping trip.
Her solo trip, which I'm so glad she didn't go on anyway.
Yeah. Worked out for the best. When she's busy packing, she is overpacking books, which I can relate to.
Same.
But the realism of her just being like, no, I'm really not going to read this one, and chucking it out.
So relatable.
That tickled me so much.
I feel like you only have to learn that lesson once, right? You overpack books one time,
Yeah.
hopefully. And then the next time you're like, I am never bringing more than 2 books.
I've improved. I wouldn't say I've fully learned my lesson, but yes.
Do you ever read all of the books? How many books are you bringing?
No.
'Cause now I'm curious.
Why I say I've learned my lesson is that I don't pack more than 2, but I always want to buy 1 or 2. That's where I run into trouble.
Understandable.
I'm not packing a suitcase full of books.
I've gotten myself down. I've limited myself. I typically have at any time 1 audiobook and 1 physical book that I'm reading. And I can't start a new one of either until that one is done. Is how I've decided to sort it
Very
because I will go
strict.
crazy.
I like it.
I need structure.
What I've started to do is I don't really buy magazines anymore, just day to day. So that's now a traveling luxury.
That's fun.
So I will take a book and I will buy a magazine.
Ooh, I'm going to start buying a magazine when I'm at the airport.
It feels like, ooh, I'm traveling.
Because I always do stop in the bookstore and I want to buy more books and that's not, no.
Exactly. You see, that's the problem.
I'm going to sublimate that urge by buying a magazine instead.
Exactly.
This is better than therapy. Oh, okay.
Anyway.
And then I do want to quickly circle back to her not going on that solo camping trip because I was thinking exactly what her best friend was thinking and said out loud, which is bears, serial killers, dirt. Don't go camping by yourself.
No. Especially as a woman.
Yeah, I'm scared. I'm really worried for you.
Yeah.
The first and last points is why I don't want to go camping at all. The second point is why you shouldn't go as a woman solo.
I was still really sad for her, though, in the movie, because you could see she was looking forward to it.
Yeah.
And then just so chaotically being called up to go to Coachella. I was like, oh, baby.
I know.
And sitting in the VIP tent, opening her book that she would have read by herself, not surrounded by a million people.
And people that are now weird moonheads or whatever they called them.
Yes. Ooh, you a mommy moon or whatever it was.
I do relate to that because she's in this point in her life where everything has fallen apart. And so she's trying to rebuild. And like part of her rebuild is trying to really nail down who she is as a person.
Yeah.
And so this was going to give her the opportunity to do that. And even though I would never do what she was going to do, I was really excited for her journey.
Yes. Space and solitude.
I'm really glad she got it anyway.
Yes.
She still goes on a journey.
Just in a different way.
This was better anyway. This one had indoor plumbing.
I'm not opposed to camping in general.
Yeah.
But it's the having to leave my place of rest in the middle of the night with a torch to use the facilities, whatever those may be. That's what's off-putting to me.
I agree. I don't know what it is about my blood type. Bugs really love me. I cannot be in the woods.
What's your blood type?
I'm O positive.
Me too.
Do they eat you alive too?
Yes.
I've heard that's a thing.
I hate it. It's obnoxious.
And I scar really easily. I have hyperpigmentation, so I just can't. I can't do outdoors. I see people go on their beautiful hikes and they take pictures. I'm like, oh my God, how nice. And then they try to invite me. And I'm like, no, I don't want to do that.
No, you misunderstood.
No. I think it's very pretty and I'll never do that. Thank you. Thank you for doing it for me so I can look at the pictures. I'm an indoor girl.
Indoor cat. I like the outdoors in that I want to be outside by a campfire very close to a car.
I like the outdoors in that I would love to dine al fresco and
yes,
that's it.
I love the outdoors for that. Let me look at the vista of this beautiful valley or mountain.
I don't even care about that. Give me those little shacks that are built on the streets in New York City. I'm dining outside.
Yes. Ooh, it's like this. I love the outdoors, but I'm not outdoorsy.
Oh, that's nice. I like that.
Yeah.
Oh, shenanigans. Right. That's where we are. I got so off track.
We got so off track with like travel and the great outdoors.
I truly forgot where I was. Okay, so...
Shenanigans.
Oh. One of my favorite scenes in the entire film is when Solène has gone back to her normal life after the music festival. And somehow Hayes has found her tiny gallery and lets himself in and then proceeds to slowly purchase the entire contents of said gallery. She brings him into the back, quote, ceramics room. He's like, oh yeah, love it, buy it all. She swings around the side. He's like, oh, I like the lighting in this one. Oh, yeah, I'll buy it all. And then he swings over to this. He's like, spaghetti tiles.
Yes.
I've needed those for so long. And he buys them all.
It's not the spaghetti tiles. That was so funny. And then when she gives him the little lecture of, I want you to take this seriously. These are real artists who are serious about their art.
I was feeling that way, too. I was really mad at him for a second.
I was also mad at him. And then he's like, I'm sorry, may I please buy the art? And she's like, it's not like you're just buying apples. And he's like, to be fair, you've never seen me buy apples before.
Yeah. That was the thing. It's like, if you're buying all of this so that this can go sit somewhere or you can give it away in pieces, like, I'm going to be so uncomfortable and unhappy. But if you're buying these and you're going to have beautiful collections in your fancy flat in London, then yeah, okay, fine.
Yeah.
Approved.
I was like, what's your motivation behind this?
So, like, I'm glad that they sorted that.
Yes.
Because if your motivation is just to get to her, buying a bunch of ceramics was enough. And now you're being an ass and now you're, like, making fun of the artist. But then it also also worked out that the motivation was secondarily, now this woman doesn't have an excuse to go on this European vacation with you because she doesn't have an art gallery to go work at.
Because he bought up everything.
Yeah. What does he say? He's like, I bought everything. The artists need a few weeks to make more, right? Honestly,
yes.
He got you. You have to go now.
He got you good. What also helped in terms of solidifying his motivation is, yes, he wanted to spend more time with her, but I think he genuinely also appreciates art because he asked her to take him to another work site.
Yeah.
So, you know, they make it work.
Oh, before we move on, I know this has nothing to do really with them in the film. I don't know why they added this, to be honest, but it meant a lot to me. I loved the calendar self-portrait.
Oh,
Girl.
Yeah, me too.
That hit me. I was like, damn, that very strict, militant almost written calendar dictating all the times that I have to do all the things while, quote, being a free, spirited artist. I was like, yeah, that's really what it is.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll take a screenshot of my calendar and that'll be the clue for this film because that's so real.
Yeah. Ah.
Oh, no, I just went. You should go and then I'll do one unless it's the same one.
Which might be. I don't know, actually. The chaotic meet and greet with the band.
Oh, okay, yeah.
That's not what you wanted to talk about?
That's not what I wanted to talk about, but I skipped over that one because I wasn't necessarily feeling strongly enough, but I do love that one.
Oh my word. As part of like the gritty camp of it all.
The gritty
This
camp.
meet and greet is after Hayes and Selene have just met, but no one else knows that they've met, including the band members. And Selene's kid comes in with her friends and they sort of talking dismissively about the band.
They start real strong.
Yes.
She's like, Mom, you know I don't really care that much because August Moon is so...
And then Hayes cuts in.
Yeah.
7th grade. Because Selene had sort of mentioned it to Hayes in passing.
Yep.
And Izzy is so embarrassed. And it all just devolves from there.
It's so good.
And then Izzy gives a whole long speech to her favorite guy in the band.
That was so messy and weird.
You were always my favorite.
And then cutting to the guy at the table being like, oh, so you're the older sister?
Yes.
And Selene's like, no, I'm the mom.
Yes.
And he's like, you don't look like my mom. Why did you say it like that?
And all the guys are like, dude, bro, what do you mean? And he's like, what? She's not black. Bro, that's not what you meant, and you know it.
Everybody knows it. She doesn't look like a mom at all, and you're trying to say she's hot.
Hot or whatever.
I forget all the whatevers.
And it felt really true to reality. Like, this is how this kind of meet and greet would go if, for whatever reason, a mom and a band member had clandestinely met beforehand.
Their cheeky little looks towards one another, I loved it.
But what's the shenanigan you were excited to talk about?
Oh, probably your next one, which is the watch trick.
Yes. Get out of here.
So people are probably familiar at this point of the ever popular in real life dating. I'm going to leave this important object at this person's house so that I have an excuse to call and see them again.
Yes.
Classic.
The one I know most of is earrings.
Mm-hmm.
A necklace.
A card or something, but it's not actually that important, that kind of thing.
Oh, I haven't heard of that.
Like a loyalty card somewhere being like, oh my God, I lost my Costco card. The watch makes sense.
Yes, that Hayes leaves it behind.
That's the guy version.
True.
I don't know why that's a gendered thing, because most of them are like things a woman might leave behind from her purse, but like the watch makes sense.
He really wanted to see her again.
The watch is a big choice. That Rolex is over $1,000.
That's also true.
If he's buying art like it's apples, then you can just leave your Rolex wherever you want.
And so the watch becomes a symbol of where the relationship is. So when Selene is in possession of it, they're together, and when she gives it back, then they are broken up.
Oh, I think it's the opposite. When he leaves it again, they're not together.
Right at the end, to leave the door open, but both the times they break up, she hands him the watch back.
Yeah, I don't know. It's like a weird little symbol. They're not together when he leaves it the first time.
No, that's true. But she keeps it.
If they both take turns wearing the watch, they're together.
Something with the watch. Okay, this shenanigan doesn't really have any bearing on the plot,
Mhm.
but Daniel's girlfriend, who then breaks up with him,
I love this.
goes to Selene and says, you know, I'm going to leave him.
Why are you telling me this?
Yes, he doesn't know yet. And then this girl is like, do you want to get Thai food with me sometime? And Selene's like, no. And the girlfriend is like, oh, okay, thanks so much.
So good.
Girl, if you hadn't been complicit in a husband cheating, you might have been friends.
Yeah.
You might have been able to make that work.
If you had gotten together in a regular way and are now breaking up, but like the cheating is, yeah.
Yeah.
And I love the way that they built the relationship around the other woman, and also how quickly they gave you all the information you needed about the husband.
Mm-hmm.
You see her in this beautiful little craftsman bungalow. You see her drive her daughter over to his house, which is this ultra modern glass monstrosity
Yeah.
that she's trying to pay a compliment, and Selene can't even bother to take her sunglasses off.
Mm-hmm.
That he comes over and is like trying to diplomatically invite her to dinner. Before she even says it, you get the vibes that he cheated.
Yes.
This is the other woman.
Yeah.
You can't trust either of them. Also, I do want to emphasize, but anyone who would call a gorgeous craftsman a starter home
What? Like,
does not deserve nice things. Not ever. You don't know what nice is.
That house is stunning. This guy is really good at playing an asshole.
That was like all I needed to know about this guy. I
Yeah.
was like, I hate him. I hate him so much already. I hated him before. I hate him
Yes.
even more now.
I love your acting. I don't love your characters.
I know. Reed Scott, you're a hero. I
Yes.
love your acting. You're probably fabulous. Only people who are probably nice can play evil people like that.
Yeah, that's my theory too.
Yeah.
You have to be really nice to be able to play a dick, and boy is this man a dick. So well done, Reed Scott!
Yeah, and I feel like you can usually get a good vibe off of somebody. Like, oh, I'm so mad at you, but you're a good person. I guess, like, we hit a lot of the stuff throughout the part of the movie that I would consider the rom-com portion.
Yeah.
I do think that we should touch on some of the topics that they were trying to discuss.
Some of the more serious stuff.
Yeah, there really is a double standard for older women dating younger guys that
Yeah.
isn't upheld for men in a similar situation.
I know the short answer to this is sexism, but why is that?
I think truly the root of it is childbearing and child rearing.
Yeah. Which is also sexism.
Yeah.
Because not everyone wants to be parents.
Correct. It's fair to make sure that in that situation you're having a conversation with a younger man so that
Absolutely.
everybody is okay and not going to be left with never having kids.
Or biologically, at least.
Yeah, if that's something they truly wanted, right?
Yeah.
That's a conversation that has to happen. But, like, it's just bullshit. And what made me kind of irritated in this film, one thing that scratched the back of my brain, is she brings it up over and over again that Selene doesn't want to date Hayes because she didn't approve of Daniel dating a younger woman and therefore she shouldn't, blah-de-blah.
Yeah.
Every single person should have reminded her, he's a cheater and you're not.
He cheated. That's the difference.
That should have been the only thing out of their mouth.
And everyone in their social circle knew about it, and she didn't.
Correct.
That is terrible.
Unacceptable.
To me, as long as it's two consenting adults, and when you meet, it's not that you've held this person as a baby.
Yeah, that's grooming.
Or if it's in the case of when, like, power dynamics are really different, that could also be creepy.
That's the danger zone.
But two consenting adults who meet as adults,
Yeah. Like, I related with her friend saying, yeah, of course it's okay with you because I love you and I hate him. Like, that's funny.
Yes.
But it's just not enough to capture the fact that he's a cheater and she's not.
he's a cheater. I feel like we are, like, glazing over this.
Yeah, like, that needs to be emphasized.
Yeah, a lot more at the forefront.
And him coming into the house later and having an attitude about them dating.
And having the audacity to say, my wife. Excuse me, sir.
Right, when Daniel finally meets Hayes, Jesus Christ. He's saying that because he's hoping he can get back together with her because his mistress just left him. Go away.
Bye-bye.
I hate that guy.
It was really funny how Hayes used bro
God, that was so
at
funny.
the end of that exchange.
What are your intentions, bro?
And Hayes is like, oh, I didn't realize we're on that level.
So good.
And at the end of that exchange, I was really like, please say bro as a button. And he did. It was so satisfying.
Yes.
I
I also loved the moment of them being at the luxury rental house in France when she was on the tour with just like a few of the other guys and their situationships. They're seeing each other. They're not dating.
They're hanging out.
I love her in her cute little swimsuit. She looks
stunning.
fucking amazing. But then, like, looking out the window and feeling insecure and then ending up in all these layers and them making you feel uncomfortable, their weirdness around it, finding out that the grand romantic gesture is a move that he pulls.
Oh, it was heartbreaking. I felt so sad for her finding that out.
And that he just did it recently with another older woman.
Yeah.
Ooh.
But yeah, this movie was definitely a very interesting look at where you are in your life, because Hayes is due for a quarter-life crisis. Solène has just turned 40. It's a lot of introspection on who you are, who you want to be, like the direction you want your life to go in.
Yeah.
It's all very relatable.
Absolutely. And I liked that about this film. I liked that they didn't sugarcoat some of it, because she is a gorgeous woman and even she feels insecure around these young ladies, and that's real.
Absolutely.
She's in this situation and doesn't know the lingo. She doesn't know.
She's feeling a bit out of place.
Yeah. The way that they like have the different headlines on the magazine when they're finally exposed.
Oh, that was horrible.
One of them is mommy issues, exclamation point. Ugh. And it sucks because like as an audience member, we can see that this is a genuine connection and they have actually like lovely chemistry and are well suited.
Absolutely. Oh, and then the one thing I think we've mentioned before, neither of us are really opposed to a more ambiguous ending if the movie calls for it.
Oh gosh, yeah.
And how we kind of wish that it had just ended with them saying goodbye and not doing the 5-year jump.
Yeah, if I was going to tell somebody to watch this movie, then when they break up and he leaves the watch, that's the end of the film.
Yeah.
I really hate the ending that they actually put. I think it's a cop-out and I think it cheapens the film.
Yeah.
Like if I'm being brutally honest.
That's the adjective I was thinking of, while it cheapens it.
Yeah.
Because to me, it's not a sad ending. He's leaving the watch.
The door's open.
And I thought it was really beautiful and realistic when she said, if you find happiness in the next 5 years, take it and I'll do the same. Because it's happiness either way.
And what like a generous offer.
Yes, that was gorgeous.
Not like, let's check in. Let's say, yes, we can check in, but also if you don't, it's okay.
Yes.
It's extremely caring, the way that she handles it.
It's a beautiful gift, really.
Yeah.
And I don't know, the 5-year jump, it didn't hit for me.
No, because I already imagined them getting back together anyway, and it leaves the film open for discussions afterwards. By putting the full button on it, you kind of made it so that there's nothing to talk about. It's a foregone conclusion.
And then if you're living more in rom-com territory, which as we've discussed this movie isn't, and you want that catharsis, then go all in, have them kiss at the end and have the music swell and, you know, like go full on happy ending.
Yeah, because then they did button it up at the end, but they didn't actually button it up.
Yeah.
They just said, oh, they found each other.
Exactly.
They're going to try again, but what? Is it going to work or not?
Yes.
You didn't finish it.
Exactly. I think now that we're talking it through, that's another reason why. I would have preferred the more ambiguous ending, but if you're going to put the button on it, fully put the button on.
See, and now that we've talked it through a little bit, and now I'm thinking about the fact that they still left us with an ambiguous ending.
They did.
So just leave us at the other one.
Yes, where it's like more heartbreaking, wrenching, beautiful.
Yeah, the strong ending.
Yes. It was very moving and tender, and when you see her sitting in the chair and she's sort of crying but like a sort of smile on her face, that was so powerful.
Yeah.
So I think seeing them see each other again at the gallery 5 years later didn't really do anything for me emotionally.
No, it doesn't. So if I was going to critique really anything, the last 3 minutes are disappointing.
Yeah. And we're being super harsh here.
It really
But
kind of messed up how much I loved the film,
Yeah.
to be honest.
The journey. I will watch this movie again.
Yeah.
But I think I will stop before the jump.
If I show anyone else this film, I'll be like, and that's where the film ends. Goodbye.
And that's it.
Roll credits.
Switch the TV off. We're done. Bye.
I wonder if it was test audiences.
Maybe.
Test audiences be ruining a lot of things.
Well, that leaves us to
Fun Fat Fail.
So she's not a rom-com.
She's not, so we both have different Fs instead.
Yay.
I have this in the feels category for myself. This was a big feely movie. I felt a lot of things towards it. I'm getting closer to that birthday myself. Don't want to talk about it. Enough questions. And I felt a lot of things about this film myself, so this is a feels film for me.
For me, this movie is fierce. I feel that they really lean into so much, especially with the music doing the most. The acting was also really good. I was also quite enchanted by the costuming, especially of Anne Hathaway. So beautiful, and the details of like always wearing so many rings and the bright colors, and this woman also just living in her power. It felt really fierce.
Yeah.
It was lovely.
Oh man, they did such a good job. She's such an incredible actor. Everybody in this film acted their hearts out.
Yeah.
When the media storm started
Oh.
and she woke up in the morning and Hayes had sent her a text to stay off of the internet, the way my stomach sank.
Turned. Oh.
She keeps fidgeting to look at her phone while she's getting her morning coffee together, and then when she finally looks, I was physically ill. Like, I had set myself up and I was eating, and I got physically sick.
It was horrible.
They did a really good job on that scene.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, gosh. They really, hit a lot of cool stuff. That's why people should watch this. This is a good movie.
Absolutely.
It's just not a rom-com.
Yes.
Yeah.
Unless you have anything else.
I don't.
That leads us to our favorite section.
Give me the cheese, please.
Yay.
Oh my gosh.
Okay.
Okay. Ready?
Yes.
3, 2, 1.
Long
Surprise
Island iced
blonde.
tea.
Ooh. Hell yeah.
Yay. Okay. This isn't a new season, so flip a coin.
Basically, rock, paper, scissors, shoot, I can't see you.
Paper. We should have done that at the same time.
That's so funny. Okay, fine. Ready? Rock, paper, scissors,
shoot.
scissors.
Oh,
Damn
damn
it.
it.
Okay, never mind. This doesn't work.
Never mind.
I'll go first.
It was a good idea in principle.
For the sake of the recording, that was actually perfect.
Yeah.
If I had written it, that's the joke I would have written. So that was exactly right. So I chose, surprise, it's flan.
Surprise!
So you decided to go get some dessert off of somebody's potluck dessert table. And there's different types of flan, right? There's these really creamy ones. There's some that are a bit more dense. This is I went over to get a slice of a much more dense flan, mistaking it for cheesecake.
Yes, I was thinking cheesecake.
So, first off, I've gotten the wrong item. I thought I was getting cheesecake. I'm not disappointed. This is delicious, and it's still creamy, and it's still hitting all of the things I wanted it to hit. It's just not what I was emotionally prepared for, right? So that's the first part with the, oh, surprise. And then the second part is we've got our dessert. It's a sweet film. It's rich. It's creamy. I couldn't have just one bite. These scenes are steamy at times.
Yeah, there's some smut in there.
Yeah, and you gotta steam a flan. So, for all those reasons, it's, oh, surprise, it's flan.
Whoop.
That's the sound you make when you make the first bite.
Yes. It's not a disappointed sound. It's just surprise.
Just shock.
It's like a neutral good.
Yeah.
As far as surprises go. Mine is a Long Island iced tea. As a non-American who was first offered this, I did not know what I was getting into.
Oh, they didn't warn you first?
No.
They did you dirty. That should be illegal.
If you are not familiar, Long Island iced tea, unlike the name, is not iced tea, nor does it contain iced tea.
It is a shocking homunculus of every liquor on the rack.
Yes. It goes down very well.
Too well.
Very deceptive in that it can fuck you up very easily. So, like, this movie catches you on multiple levels.
This is really good. I'm still really upset nobody told you what was in this drink and gave it to you.
Oh.
That's so irresponsible.
Do you want a Long Island iced tea? And I was like, yeah, sure.
Oh my god.
It's summer. It's refreshing. A lot of people don't realize that certain things aren't internationally known. You know, I don't think it was done maliciously.
Oh, that's fair. If they were just like, do you want one? And you said yes.
Yeah.
Not like, what's that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm just stressed out about it because that's so much alcohol if you're not prepared.
It's so much.
Oh, okay.
Luckily, my tolerance is pretty good, so it was fine. It was just surprising.
Yeah. You thought you were just having like a casual drink. You were not signing up to get buzzed.
I just thought I was having a cool beverage.
Yeah,
you know?
not a deceptively, oops, it's 3.
Look, to own it, it was a party setting, so it's fine. I survived.
Okay.
Also, with the Long Island iced tea, there's kind of a bit of a stigma associated with it.
Absolutely.
Like, this is a first drink kind of order when you just turn 21, because the drinking age in the States is 21, which is wild.
Oh my god, it is really weird, though, on a global scale. Okay.
And, yeah, just like there is a stigma still of older women dating younger men.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, that's why this movie for me is a Long Island iced tea.
Oh man, when I do bartend, if someone orders a Long Island, the way my eyes narrow, and I now think to myself, I have to watch you. I have to be very careful with this one.
It's an immediate red flag.
It's an immediate thought that runs through my head.
Is it because it's like a pain to make?
Oh,
or
no,
because
I don't mind. They're easy to make. It's because I know that if you have 2, I'm going to have to cut you off, and this might get messy very quickly.
I see.
It becomes like a guessing game of your alcohol tolerance and like whether or not I'm about to have a bad shift.
It's a ticking time bomb.
It's a ticking time bomb. Thank you.
Oh my goodness, it's a ticking time bomb, just like the secret of the relationship coming out.
And the ticking of the watch.
Oh my goodness.
There's always layers, folks.
You'd think we would have prepared this beforehand, but we genuinely have not.
You're welcome. I'm sure it's delightful this way.
Or chaotic, or both.
I don't know what the difference between delightful and chaotic is. I think they're the same thing.
Is there a distinction? I don't know.
Well, there you have it, everyone. That was our discussion of The Idea of You.
Let us know your thoughts on the movie, any shenanigans we may have missed, or what cheese you think it is.
You can follow us on Instagram at shenanigansensoupod, or you can email us at shenanigansensoupod@gmail.com.
We hope you'll join us next time, and until then, with you, I feel everything. Bye!
Bye!
I wonder if we could give this kind of treatment to any genre.
Oh, that could be fun. Horror movie, spy thriller.
Action has camp in it already.
I have plenty of action movies that I would just speak exactly the same as if it were a rom-com. Like anything Sylvester Stallone is in. Yeah.
What about a very serious biopic?
A biopic. Ooh. Now we're cooking with gas.